run into anything bad whilst you're out there, you come talk to me about it. Chances are I've seen it, fought it, otherwise gotten past it, and can offer some advice.
Definitely. Moonlight guides you.
Shadows conceal you.
I must admit, on some occasion all the tales you told about the sea monster Charybdis felt almost beyond belief. Now having faced the blasted thing, I feel you sold it short.
What, faced Charybdis? Ah, goddess, I'd heard reports about some sort of whirlpool within Poseidon's rift, and now my fears confirmed. At least she didn't swallow you outright.
Any practical advice on how to deal with her?
Avoid her at all costs?
Death to Chronos, sir.
He'll get his. Perhaps I could have offered more creative ways of navigating past Charybdis in your voyages when last we spoke of her. I realize sailing around may not be possible.
No, it is not. I thought the main threat was to fall into that maw of hers. But I found that her many thrashing arms or tentacles present more of a problem.
Then worry about them. Perhaps you could isolate a couple at a time, use whatever space you have to keep moving. Poke her in the arms enough and she ought to back off.
I can relate to that. Moonlight guide us.
Aye, that. How's life of late down at the bottom of the sea? All sorts of nastiness lurking there, that the reports make clear. I wager you've seen some things.
You'd win that wager handily. The worst of them has to be this sea monstrous called Scylla and a siren friends. They have this ridiculous act.
What, Scylla's still around? The sirens, no less? It's a wonder you made it back. Well, please tell me you didn't listen to a word they sang.
Oh, I heard an earful.
Sirens proving to be quite the hindrance, aren't they? Our shades have intermingled with the crowd of onlookers surrounding them and have some observations to impart.
About what? My repeated failures to overcome a deranged musical troupe despite intensive lifelong training in both magical and martial ways?
No need to stand in your own way, goddess. With Scylla and the sirens, you are up against three foes at once. The percussionist is stuck in place, but presents a significant threat. Our shades suggest dealing with that one first.
I'll give it a shot.
How was the surface? Still warm and welcoming, I reckon? You're to be commended for even setting foot up there.
It was dreadful. The city of Ephira is completely overrun, and there's a blind Cyclops making sure no one gets out.
Well, that all sounds entirely unfortunate. That blind Cyclops must be Polyphemus. My crew and I once had a bad run-in with him. He's still going on about eating people.
He is.
Ah. How is old Polyphemus, anyhow? Slowed down a bit since he was young, perhaps? I scarce was any match for him, but I was merely mortal, whilst you're... you.
He's territorial, though seems much more concerned with sleep and appetite than any other cause. So you really blinded him, then?
I did, and only wish he had another eye so that I could have done it twice. For evidently he is not remorseful in the least for what he did, and as you plainly see, neither am I.
I'll get him for you.
Good. Good, you're back. According to reports, Eris flew off toward the Rift of Thessaly on an intercept course with the fleet. Except I don't think that she's headed there to help. Not you, at least.
These reports aren't of much benefit to me after the fact, but at least I can confirm they're accurate. How preposterous that we cannot rid ourselves of her.
All we can do is work with what we've got. I apologize that we could not forewarn you on this one. We'll continue investigating her motives and accomplices.
I'm not convinced she has any of either.
Eris making problems for you on the surface, isn't she? Whilst so close to your goal. Well, if it's any reassurance, we know the workings of her weapon better than she does. She must run out of ammunition frequently.
She does. Sometimes she jams the mechanism, gets distracted getting it unstuck. Should use those opportunities to strike. Not much place for taking cover anyhow.
She's trying to intimidate you. With the rail of adamant, she's much more dangerous at range. Perhaps you could outflank or outmaneuver her somehow.
It's worth a shot. Death to Chronos, sir.
He'll get his. You found him, Goddess. Your look says it all, along with my reports. Gave him something to remember you by, I reckon, even if the battle didn't go your way.
Chronos was exactly where we expected, but I could not foresee his every technique, and my ability to withstand his magic went only so far.
Well, fortunately for you, the old are often rather slow to learn. You run into him a few more times like that, you'll soon know every trick he's got. Though, do be very careful out there,
Aye.
Our shades have proved unable to approach the House of Hades, so they've no reports about the way the Titan fights. I'm afraid you're on your own for that one, Goddess.
Oh, I can give you a report myself. He looks rather frail, but he's quick. His scythe has significant reach, and he can freeze me at a moment's notice, but only for so long. And his forces are present to ensure I'm outnumbered.
Freeze you? Meaning he tries to stop you using time, but can't hold you for long. Just as the Good Witch thought then, It means his power over you is limited. You're the one that can't be stopped, not him.
It hasn't felt that way to me as yet.
The Good Witch put you to the test out there, did she? Quite an intensive teaching style, I always thought. She expects a lot from you, but that's just what happens when you have such potential.
Then she must be disappointed with my results, although she's careful not to show it. Same as you, Odysseus.
Come, I know how dispiriting it is to chart one's course only to lose one's way. We rarely get where we must go the fastest way we can.
As long as we get there at all. Were you aware that Scylla and Charybdis had teamed up?
Oh, you could certainly say that. Why do you ask?
I caught their latest performance. It was quite a spectacle, to say the least. You could have forewarned me that the two were working in concert.
Goddess, forgive me, but I thought it was quite common knowledge that Scylla and Charybdis were collaborating. It's not a new development at all.
Perhaps I merely missed the news.
I don't see how you could have. A word of caution, Goddess, in regard to an impediment you may confront when finally you reach the far end of the Morning Fields. Reports suggest it's some sort of infernal beast. A big one. Our shades had to stay very far away.
I can corroborate our Shade's reports, and add that this infernal beast is none other than Cerberus, my father's household pet, acting on instinct and pure rage.
I feared as much, for they said the beast had several fire-spitting maws. I don't suppose he recognized you after all this time and let you pass?
He did neither of those things. I have to help him. Salutations.
Salutations. Prometheus opposes us. Now that one hurts, Goddess. Amongst us mortals, he was quite popular. Beloved, even. Gave us the gift of fire. Practically made us who we are.
And in so doing, he violated the will of Olympus. Supposedly, he has the gift of foresight. He ought to have anticipated the consequences of his disobedience.
What makes you think he didn't? All the more reason we admired him. He knew the cost of what he did for us and paid it willingly, or so I choose to think. But all that's in the past. If he's thrown in with Chronos now, he's lost his way.
He's done both. You know mortals better than anybody here. Prometheus claims that the gods are cruel, and that he fights not for the Titan Lord, but mortal kind. What do you make of all that?
Look, I've known mortals who think gods can be uncaring. Some of them defy the gods, even in death. Others understand that gods are everything, really. We have only this world, more beautiful than it is flawed.
You're speaking in the abstract. I want to know your personal opinion here, Odysseus. Are the gods in the wrong? Did we bring this on ourselves?
My personal opinion is that gods and mortals are a complicated bunch, and that you shouldn't doubt yourself, lest you falter. If I felt you or the Good Witch were in the wrong, I'd tell you so.
You swear to that?
Aye, Goddess.
Odysseus, I need your counsel and discretion on something. Prometheus has an ally whom I thought was on my family side. I faced them together near the mountain summit, where the smoke is thick. But I mustn't say who.
Quite the report, all right. And I have my suspicions as to whom you mean. Well, certainly the gods must know, at least Master Hermes. Or do you reckon that they're unaware?
I don't think they realize that perhaps Hermes does and won't let on. Prometheus said I wouldn't tell a soul who it was because of the harm that doing so would bring. Do you think he's telling the truth?
I'd not wager otherwise. We had best treat it as the truth for now, unless you believe this ally poses an imminent threat to your family. Are you in a position to further investigate?
I think so.
Keep me apprised. The good witch has been quite concerned about your confrontations with Typhon. Reckon you never trained to take opponents of that size?
Oh, I trained just last night. Typhon is immensely strong and large enough to blot out the light of the moon, but evidently not invincible. They say Lord Zeus defeated him before.
They say a lot of things, Goddess. I'm far more interested in your account. If it's your instinct that this monster can be stopped, your word is good enough for me. Though I would also love to see some proof, of course.
Of course. Moonlight guides you.
Shadows conceal you.
When was the last reported sighting of a root stalker out in the woods?
See, that's the sort of inquiry I'd expect from somebody who sighted a root stalker out in the woods very, very recently. So there's still something rotten in Erebus, then?
Unfortunately, yes. Moonlight guides you.
Shadows conceal you. What was the source of your misfortune that you're back with such a scowl? Some whalers or caskets, perhaps? Oh, shadow spiller.
Yes, a shadow spiller. I lost my way against one. Can hardly see a thing when they're about. I should be stronger than this.
You've strength enough. They merely test your nerve. Foes such as that are to be faced head-on, no hesitation. Set for another go.
I am.
Not sighted Chronos on the surface yet. Why risk it when you've got bloodthirsty satyrs serving as your eyes and ears? His forces are more organized than first they seemed.
I just had an unfortunate run-in with one of those satyrs. Well-armed, well-trained, and Chronos has entire legions.
This is the war they've sought ever since the gods put Chronos in the ground. The promise of the Titan's return, immortality, and untold riches.
Lies.
Most likely, aye. Heard reports you were proceeding well through Oceanus, but evidently they were not up to date. What brings you back, Goddess?
A sea serpent, if you must know. A particularly substantial one caught me out. You ever faced them in your mortal voyages?
I did, but not alone. Even with my shipmates, seasoned veterans all, we scarce could track the slippery bastards darting out of the waters. Not reassuring, is this?
Not entirely.
Goddess, latest reports said you encountered the King Vermin. Don't care if you're immortal, I'm relieved you made it back in one piece.
It can't be. I did confront a rodent of extraordinary savagery, but it was so little. I assumed the King Vermin was huge.
Tall tales. The King Vermin's wrath is inversely proportional to its stature, and its stature, as I understand, is very small indeed.
Ugh.
It's swarming season for the Hellifish in Oceanus, as you may have seen. Should you run into them, advice is not to bother much with smaller ones, but get the biggest one.
I'd rather not bother with any of them and all their stinging. How long do swarming seasons typically go on?
Well, a season is a bit of a misnomer, as the current season started back when I was just a lad. The good news is you get accustomed to the stinging after a while.
Wonderful.
Some of the drowned sailors whom you face up there whilst sailing through Poseidon's Rift were probably once men I used to know. Not that I could recognize them now.
There's one at least that seems to have a level of command over the rest, if fancier attire and weaponry are any indication. I fought him just last night on his big ship.
Likely the Yargonaut, if the reports add up. There was a band of similarly named adventurers he may have hailed from. But they were from a bit before my time. Perhaps still trying to relive their glory days.
And getting in my way.
Found yourself a phantom lair in the fields, if my shades down there are still to be believed. Blood-sucking bastards. The phantoms, not the shades.
Don't such creatures usually stalk the surface in their search of living prey? They must go rather hungry in the underworld.
Better that than burn under the break of day, or so they figure, probably. Well, you know what they're after next you meet again.
They won't get it.
Can you confirm the sighting of Queen Lamia down in the morning fields, Goddess? I'd caution you to watch for signs of slithering about, except I reckon I may be too late.
I must have drawn her out of her den, yes. That, or I barged into it. But either way, her magic proved too much for me last night.
Too much even for you? Nay.
Did you ever face dracons in your mortal days, Odysseus? The kind that fly about on wings much like a bat's, but huge. They've become quite a problem on Olympus recently.
My home was mountainous, though we were mostly free from flying beasts. Still, in my experience, they all have something in common. Susceptibility to being shot out of the sky.
I can see that. You know the great Olympian defender Talos? One of the most ingenious inventions of Hephaestus and a walking work of art, yet utterly unable to distinguish friend from foe.
That disappointing lack of judgment allegedly is not an oversight. Olympus deploys Talos where they want no one to tread, and lately, their own mountain is that place.
Sometimes I think Olympus doesn't have the most cohesive plan for their defense. Isn't Lady Athena herself supposed to be in charge?
Supposed to be, aye. You know your family, Goddess. In matters of importance, they all want to get involved.
For their sake, I hope Talos isn't costly to repair.
They sent the Verminancer after you, Goddess. We know that satyr by no other title, nor any others of that size. He's one of the Titan Lord's high priests.
Then the Titan Lord shall soon have one fewer high priest.
Even if you take him, our reports say that he cannot truly die. A gift from Chronos, in exchange for performing the ritual that brought him back.
I can at least test the veracity of our reports. Not the report I wished to deliver, though I've some idea of what Chronos has been doing with all of his excess gold. I was trounced last night by a gigantic bag of coins.
A Goldwrath, then. I reckon if you're Chronos and you've got a limitless supply of shiny metal, you might as well use some of them for your profane research. Ah, but you were close.
That I was.
Which sorts of foul monstrosities were the Olympians contending with of late? As if the Titans' armies weren't troublesome enough, now Typhon's brood.
Well, imagine horrors of all shapes and sizes. Each some mix of muscle, eyes, and teeth. They climb up from beneath the ground. Some practically ooze from the walls. The one that got me last night was particularly large.
And I take it Typhon has far more of these children than even your Lord Uncle Zeus, and all spoiled rotten. Feuding families, the cause of most every great war I've known.
I'd not considered it that way. Moonlight guide us.
We'll find our way.